Welcome, strays and wanderers, to another exciting episode of A War of Fang and Fur. I'm Cameron Holt, I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. I'm joined, as always, by the exceptional Arcana crew. Rejoice for the joining of House's Arcana crew.
Whoa.
Hooray!
Rejoice. Yay.
Yay! We continue as our heroes find themselves within Howlheart Keep, the lupine fortress within southern Timberhaven. You guys have some time leading up to the coming events. There's a ceremony that has been set for the knighting of Lance Laporte to become Sir Lance Laporte of House Caniculus, as well as the rapidly approaching wedding of Lady Azalea and Prince Skjol. In the meantime, as preparations are being made and there's a lot of movement in and out of the castle itself in terms of family arriving and things being ordered and set up for the coming festivities. What are all of you up to in the meantime?
I was trying to decide what I was going to do with myself, and I've decided to stay.
The armadillo lives for now.
For now. But only because I couldn't find a way fast enough to go back and assassinate him.
Is there anything in particular that anybody needs to track down or information gathered, anything like that?
Definitely need to get that dagger smelted. The poison dagger.
yeah.
So I'm gonna
Good plan.
hit up the.
Excellent. Yeah, there's an armory within the bowels of the castle, kind of adjacent to the dungeons. And Hugin, you can head down there. Are you trying to kind of like, by cover of night, go and handle it yourself, or are you just kind of passing it off to the armorer?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think I'm gonna go to them and be like, hey, can you just smelt this and remake me a new dagger with it?
Yeah, you head down there and there's a coyote whose name his name is Stock, and he's a pretty beefy for a coyote. Living within the castle has granted him, at least in terms of like coyotes that we have probably seen living where we do, he's definitely had more access to food than than most do. But yeah, Stock is down there and he takes it from you. I just need this metal down then.
Yes, please.
Oh, it will be done. And he kind of like bows, but like catches himself, remembers that you're not like fully a lady. But
Yeah.
he's like known you since you were a kid. And he's just like, yes, Hugin, I will handle this.
And I'm just gonna be like waiting and watching him.
Yeah, he like sets it to the
ahead.
side and like goes back to hammering and sees you're still here. He's like, oh, well, right now. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. He takes it and yeah, he throws it into this very like hefty furnace and begins pushing down on the bellows as it becomes red hot. And then he places it into a little like ingot form, mold, I should say. And eventually you watch as the dagger is melted down and becomes simply a block of steel.
Wonderful. I'm off.
You can breathe a sigh of relief and exits the armory. Lady Azalea, you had some eyes like you wanted to get something done.
I will write a letter to Lady Basil asking where the fuck she is and letting her know where the fuck we is.
Okay, how...
But I would like it to be like encoded in some way, like she would know what I'm getting at.
Are you versed in Thieves' Cant?
Yes.
Nice. You can absolutely do so. And we'll say that you would know that you can write it in such a way that Lady Basil would be able to decipher the true meaning, where others would not. How... Well, first off, roll me a d4.
That's not what I expected you to say. 3?
3? Excellent. How long do you wait to send this letter? Is this like immediately upon arriving at Howlheart Keep?
Yeah. It is weird to me that she never turned up, that my poison was switched, that nobody seems especially concerned that we haven't seen her yet. Something is weird
Okay.
about all this.
Yeah, you entrust your letter to a Luperelian messenger.
The beefiest, so he doesn't die.
It's gotta be Borgel.
Fuck, he's gonna die out there.
Oracle's the beefiest?
He's a beefy little pug.
That's what we got.
Is he like short and stout?
Yeah,
Like a
teapot?
100%.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he takes it and is entrusted with the letter. He bows to you.
You're sure you've got this?
Why, yes, my lady. I shall see it delivered.
All right.
He gives like a very overt bow before heading off.
It just says, "Dear Mama, where to F are you?"
What the fuck, mother?
I would say you also you get the sense that like he's not gonna like hand deliver it himself. There are messengers. He is a servant, but there are like messengers within Howlheart Keep that serve the Luperels.
Okay.
Most likely he's going to attach it to a bee that they have trained for Arborheart.
Oh, bees.
All right.
It would be so cool if you could like give the message right to the bee and it like learns it and then it delivers
dances
it
it out.
and like dances it out when it shows up.
Maybe they do. Maybe that's how it works.
And then they won't dance if you're not the right recipient for
Oh,
it.
that'd be good.
This world keeps getting better. Every session. 3 days pass, and Lady Basil arrives at Howlheart Keep. Upon her arrival, Lord Asher brings you down. He alerts you that she is arriving soon, and brings you down to that same sort of entry area within the gates as a carriage pulls in, being pulled by a single Lunamoth. And as it stops, stepping out from the carriage, we see though further in her years, still gorgeous fox. She's got red fur. She's not piebald like Azalea is, but she's got that sort of white around the snout and kind of down the front of the chest, and is wearing a lavish green velvet dress as she steps out from the carriage. A couple of her attendants are following behind her as well, carrying her things and begin unloading. She steps down and approaches. Lady Azalea.
Lady Mother, where have you been? We missed you during the festivities.
Yes, well, someone had to keep things running in Vale Hollow. As you know, the Queen was also present at the tourney, and Throne Warden Lady Charity Buckbranch is just positively useless. However, I wouldn't miss my daughter's wedding for the world. And she holds out a hand for you.
Good.
I trust you were safe in your travels, no issues on the road.
Perfectly safe. Nothing could have gone wrong.
Good.
When you have some time,
Make a deception check.
did something go wrong on the road? I don't recall.
Not technically on the road, but
You know how it travels.
On our path from here to
Deception,
there.
yeah.
19.
You just seem so on edge to be talking to your mom.
Oh, I'll introduce you to my parents. My real life parents.
But also, where has she been? Yeah.
When you can make time, there's some things I'd like to discuss in privacy.
Certainly, yes. Shall we to my guest chambers? Or your chambers, if you find them more secure?
There would be good, yes.
Excellent.
I assume I've already scoped my chambers out. Like,
Yeah, you're kind of like having...
You see
Hughie, what the fuck do you
Yeah, Hughie is like staked outside the mom's chambers, like just looking at her.
You're like having this conversation as you're leading her from the carriage and going up the steps and into the large fanged doors of Howlheart Castle itself. Prince Skjol, as well as probably Prince Riss and King Lupin, are there to receive the lady as she's arrived. They all give like gentle nods, and she gives like a full bow to royalty before standing and accepting Skjol's hand, who gives another little bow. It is a pleasure to meet you, my lady. I look forward to wedding your daughter soon.
She prefers red wine.
Noted. I'll get you a glass. And like King Lupin like grabs his arm. He's like, we have servants for that, son. Right. I've got to get to the training grounds. And Skjol goes off to swing a sword for a bit.
He's sweet, but he's afraid. He's very afraid of something. I don't know what it is.
I don't either. But princes are as princes will. Speaking of, pleasure to meet you, Prince Fenris Wolfa, I presume.
How are you doing? Pleasure to meet you.
Shakes your paw.
Very formal. How are you?
Solid.
My lady? There we go. Okay.
Welcome to Mikasa, lady.
I guess super formal. Saw?
Saw, my lady.
Oh god, that has to be a thing.
At least it's not like
New
the
t-shirts.
informal where they like sniff each other's butts or something.
Yeah.
But like
You guys
some
circle
sort of
each other a couple times.
like a courtly version of that.
Fun fact: we've talked a little bit about customs and things, but specifically among House Luperel, whenever they yield in battle, typically they remove their breastplate and show their belly to their attackers.
Is it like a snap away sort of thing? Because
They have to like unhook it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you unhook one side and it kind of like hinges open. But yeah, just
Noted.
for our knowledge.
No.
If I need to unarmor one of them,
I mean, it's as buckled as any breastplate. It's usually in two pieces that fasten together. But yeah, in moments of like extreme disgrace, they will cut like the leather straps that are holding it in place and essentially like ruin that part of the
Force
armor.
you to show your belly?
No, they do it themselves. It's a way of like giving up and surrendering, basically. It's just like, I give, if you were to kill me, you can do it now.
Me immediately.
what
Under any
dogs-
circumstances.
That's what dogs do. When they roll over and show you their belly, it's because they are showing fealty,
It's
basically.
the equivalent of when Grim rolls over in peace.
Yeah. Lady Azalea escorts her mother to...
Yeah, I'll motion for Lance to come with us.
okay.
Excellent. Lance joins as...
Just in case. I pay him. I'll make sure I live.
do you like bring him into the room with you, or
Yes.
have him? Oh, okay.
I need
Excellent.
safety.
Interesting.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, she enters the room with you, and this one is a trusted
Of
guard
course.
of your service. All right. What is it you wanted to speak of?
Something of mine was replaced before I left home. I've been at a loss for who could have done so.
Can you be more specific?
My water skin was switched out, it seems.
Yes. Well, knowing that I would not be able to join you on the road, I wanted to be extra sure that your safety was ensured. I replaced your things with something a little bit more potent so that it might see you safely through the 20 and to your new home here in Howlheart Keep.
I know that our thing is being mysterious and, ooh, who done it all the time. You gotta let a bitch know that you've replaced things like that.
Yes, well, you are well trained and you know not to drink from that water skin. You're very careful with your poisons. I made certain in raising you that you would not mishandle it. Have you done so?
It's been mishandled, Mother. The mishandling has occurred.
What exactly has happened? She takes a seat on a rather like
Did Asher
poofy.
come with us?
Yeah, Lord Asher would have joined you.
I'm gonna circle around the room, like listening to see if I hear like anyone listening in on this conversation.
Yeah, make a perception check. Lord Asher is kind of like hand on his like between his eyes as you are telling the story, just kind of like listening on.
25.
Nice. There are a couple of guards outside the door, but this conversation is happening kind of on the far side of the room. You
Quietly. I'm stage
Quietly.
whispering.
Yeah, there are no clues within this room that there are any passages that lead elsewhere in the castle that anyone could be hiding.
I'll ask. Sorry to interrupt, but do you want me to have the guards outside,
You're under
maybe
the
like
bed.
go further down the hallway while you have this discussion?
Further down the hall, it seems
Just a little further out of earshot?
that might be suspicious if we send them.
Okay.
Hugo,
well,
are you trying to listen in?
No.
I gave a dagger to the prince, a special one, thinking that it was my own special dagger, but it wasn't. It was yours that was much worse, and he may have used it on someone who may have been maybe the king or something. The High One, the High King. But he was in disguise, so it wasn't necessary. It wasn't really our fault, but it was definitely my bad. But it was also his bad. It was for a hippo.
Why in the five hells did Prince Skill, the honorable prince of House Luperel, murder the High King? Why was he stabbing the High King with a dagger in the first place? And at this point, Lord Asher steps up and he's like, please, in our daughter's defense, it was during the grand tourney, during the great melee, and
I couldn't have possibly known.
there had been some cheating going on during the joust where the Prince Rhys was unseated by a particularly rowdy hippo.
Hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus. Our lady daughter saw it fit to protect the prince in the grand melee, assuming that more cheating was to come.
So it was a good thing that I tried to do. If only someone had let me know.
Lady Basil has leaned forward and is like crossing her hands and listening intently and kind of like nodding along. Well, I take it by the fact that the four kingdoms are not at war with one another, that no one is aware that this has taken place.
There's a particularly beastly armadillo who's got a fake king.
Lord Bristlebeard.
Bitch.
That's not all he's done.
Well, Lord Bristlebeard has always been a bit of a snake.
He's an armadillo.
I mean figuratively, darling.
Oh, that seems...
That's
vicious.
racist.
Yeah, that's wrong, mother.
Is it wrong that people refer to foxes when they're speaking of sly,
Yes.
cunning, and
I don't particularly
And-
like it.
backstabbing? We are synonymous.
It feels bad, though, doesn't it?
Sure.
I mean, I am, but it's irrelevant to me being a fox.
Such as to say that there are certain views that follow certain individuals. Lord Bristlebeard has been known to be conniving from the moment that he was instated by the High Queen. However, he's had his uses. I would assume that he is acting in such a way to keep the peace among the kingdoms. From what little I do know of Lord Bristle, that always seems to be his aim, is to at least avoid massive conflicts. However, having a false figurehead in place, with only Lord Bristlebeard as the go-between, not only is that a problem for all of the Nettlewood Grove, that's also not a ruse that can be easily kept up for a long amount of time. There would be certainly magics that would need to be involved in fooling those of the Council of Five.
Arcane magics.
Of course, the divine magics are not used for such things as hiding or changing appearances.
What if he didn't intend for the Council of Five to remain in place? He's already offed the Queen Mother and all of the King's Guards who would recognize the king.
It would be quite an undertaking. He would have to remove each of the four kings and queens of the four kingdoms in order to change things out. This would pose a danger to House Luperel, specifically to King Lupin Ironfang. Have you informed the king of all of this?
I don't think he knows of the poison. I think he knows of the stabbing.
He definitely wasn't told all of the details.
She doesn't know. Our murdering of the king, assassination, if you will, regicide, actually.
Prince Skill's murdering of the king.
Well, I mean, I am my partner.
Manslaughter at best.
The prince delivered the final blow.
Well, we don't need to say that.
Certainly we don't. But if anyone comes asking questions, we did not provide a prince of House Luperel with a poison dagger. He brought it of his own volition.
Well, I don't know if the poison even is going to come up because by now the king's body has been gotten rid of. There won't be any evidence of how he died, certainly.
That's very true.
Indeed.
If I remember correctly, the two King's Guard people were fed to the pigs. Or the beetles, sorry, not pigs.
Beetles.
Yeah.
This is quite troublesome.
Anyway, I don't know what Bristlebeard's end game could possibly be. But for now, we'll be publicly knighting lands under the flag of House Luperel.
Good.
There was
congratulations on your success in the tournament.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. There was an issue right after the tournament where I was trying to save the Queen Mother because we knew that she was probably going to get offed, and Bristlebeard caught wind of it and tried to have the guards murder me, but I got away from them.
I doubt he would have murdered you there on the tournament grounds.
Certainly, he was absolutely going to.
Certainly, he
have
was
me
going to
killed.
capture you and murder you in the dungeons.
Yeah.
But at least we know that we've also put Lord Bristlebeard in a challenging situation himself. He's going to have more to hide than we do, honestly. At this point, since news hasn't gotten out, it would be far too late for him to backtrack and announce that Prince Skjol had
surely,
murdered the High King.
of course.
Because that would uncover his deeds.
It would be a problem. Right, also, follow-ups. We have reason to believe that Lord Bristlebeard... Lord Bristlebeard?
Lord Bristlebeard, yes.
Lord Bristlebeard is aware of my status. So I don't know why or how.
Are you certain we should be having this conversation?
Oh, yes, he knows. I had a moment.
You're aware?
However, the Luperels do seem... Some of the Luperels seem suspicious of me. I've not said anything out loud yet.
Well, you are a fox of House Vulpus. Of course they're going to be suspicious of you.
Do you have some internalized stuff going on?
I was born and raised in Vale Hollow. I know the ways of this world.
Ouch. You're so cold. Right, what I'm getting at is, it may be for our better to just come out and say it. Right now, we're an asset to them more than blood is worth. I'm the only one who actually knows what happened.
Darling,
Yeah.
future Senite. She says darling and motions towards Lord Asher.
Of course.
Please, give us the room.
I'll look to you.
Does she look like she has murderous intent?
Make an insight check. She's slowly pulling a dagger from its sheath.
17.
No.
Give us the room.
No, your lady mother does not seem like she's about to murder you in cold blood in your chambers.
I'll send you off.
Okay.
Lord Asher escorts you out and also exits the room. There, just the two of you. She kind of like waits a moment to listen for footsteps going down the hall. There is something you should know, Lady Zalia. When we adopted you from that orphanage, I was getting back something that was taken from me. Lord Asher was my betrothed a number of years after I had met my first love. You never had a chance to meet my Lord Father, Lord Basker Tuftbeard. I was at a tourney as a young girl, and I met a wily raccoon from the Lamella Riverlands. His name was Jasper. He was a streetwise merchant and quite skilled with the rapier, I must say. We fell fast in love and were planning to elope with one another. But once my Lord Father learned about Jasper and the deal he had made with one of the spirits of his homeland, he had him killed. But I was already with child. My father, daft and bullheaded as he was, couldn't bring himself to eliminate the child. And so I had you in secret. And the moment I did, you were rushed off, taken to an orphanage, out of sight. I was married off to Lord Asher because my father knew that no highborn man would accept a wife who had already given birth. After a number of years, and more of Father's prying, he fell ill. And as soon as he was gone, I scraped and climbed my way up the social ladder to the Council of Five for the Queen of House Vulpes. And I found you as soon as I could, and brought you back. So no, you are not a daughter of a lord, but you are the daughter of a lady of the Council of Five of House Vulpes.
Sure, these are other things you probably should have just mentioned. I know it's hard, but you're very mean to me.
I am strict because I don't want you to make the mistakes that I made.
Part raccoon.
That is not a mistake that I am speaking of.
No, I understand. I'd explain something.
She's going to make a quick perception check to also make sure nobody's listening. Natural 20. She is certain.
Hugo, when did you get here?
Just hiding in the curtains.
She's certain that you have the room. You see, Lord Basker he was a wretched fox. He didn't fall ill of chance.
I see. Does Lord Asher know?
He knows that you are my blood,
Oh,
but that is all.
all right.
He does not like... Make an insight check. She kind of like pauses.
11.
She kind of freezes up for a moment. Lord Asher was a political marriage that my father made and arranged merely because he wanted to see fit that his daughter had a partner. That has been all that this relationship has ever been between myself and your father, from my perspective. Now, I know that your father, Lord Asher, I should say, has stronger feelings about our relationship than I do, and I allow him those feelings.
Sad.
But I will not reciprocate them. I cannot. That being said, you are to be married into House Luperel in the coming days, and we have a lot of planning that we need to do in the meantime. If these rumors continue to spread that you are a bastard child, which don't think I haven't heard the rumors, just know at any time you have the truth.
Right, so you're telling me that we shouldn't tell them?
I'm telling you, unless it is absolutely necessary, we should keep things as they are now. You are the lady daughter of myself and Lord Asher. And that is how it has always been, and how it always will be. Unless these rumors continue to spread and get into the ears of people who do not need to hear them, then they will be told the truth. Either way, you are a lady daughter of a lady of House Vulpes, of the Council of Five. Bastard or not, that comes with power. Besides, soon you will be of House Luperel, and none of this will matter. You will be a princess in the coming days.
Right, I'm just suggesting that certain people... I don't want to be killed in the night. Because they know for sure I'm lying. I think they're pretty clear on that.
Lying about what?
About from whence I am.
How could you have been lying?
Most. Well, because I didn't know what you just said.
Certainly.
This is why you've got to fill a person in a little bit before you send them off on their own. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And I had to make sure that you were trustworthy enough to be sent off on your own. Do you understand what I'm saying? When the marriage is done and sealed, you will be your own woman, a princess of House Luperel. From then, no one can touch you. It isn't by chance we've gotten this far, daughter. And she stands from where she was seated. Now, I am going to go make myself at home, and tomorrow we shall begin arranging things for the ceremony. She gives like a gracious enough bow before exiting your room.
Will you be attending the knighting?
Wouldn't miss it.
Oh, hooray.
The door closes.
I'll do some pacing.
You do some pacing. Meanwhile, Hugin and Lance, what are the two of you up to?
Well, I was with Asher, so I guess we'll split ways, and I'll go to the training yard.
Excellent, yeah. Skill is there.
Get ready.
Riss, are you at the training yard?
Yeah, I'd probably go there too.
Okay. So we are heads together, like, I mean, well, can't get a stripper. Like, that's not gonna work. I don't, what is he even, I mean, all he likes to do is fight and spar. Like, I guess,
I can hear you.
hey!
Yes, hello. I've been here since you walked in.
Oh, dear. How's it going? Any cold
Fine.
feet? Cold
Definitely.
paws? Nothing.
Oddly, no. There was something icy about Lady Basil. I've never met such a stern fox before. But oddly, I find myself at ease around Lady Azalea. She brings me comfort.
Out of character. Aw.
What do the two of you think? We've had...
It's irrelevant.
Well, yes, certainly. There won't be any changes, but I'd like to have your approval nonetheless.
It makes you happy, Prince. That is what matters.
She does.
She's very cunning.
Indeed. Seems to have served her well up until, well, recently.
She seems nice enough. It'll be good for the house, you know.
Indeed. Good for the house. Riss, might I have a word with you in private?
Yeah.
Excuse us, Hugin. And he kind of takes you off to the side and, like, tries to get you basically well out of earshot of Hugin. He knows well your capabilities. Do you try to listen in on this conversation?
I mean, what else am I gonna do? I'm just right over there. I mean, I'm sure that they know. They're used to it, so.
Make a stealth check.
You're just like swinging at the air.
Yeah,
But like back to Riss.
he like fully takes you like outside of the training yard and
Oh, wow.
around like a pillar.
Okay, that's a 19.
He's just making it easier for her.
19, nice.
Yeah.
Riss, what is your passive perception?
10. Yeah,
10,
that'd
nice.
be the minimum.
I'm gonna make an active roll for skill because he doesn't want to be overheard.
We're gonna get a Sir Back Abs drawing.
I'll definitely
We
work
need
on
to do
that.
some Sir Back Abs fan art.
I would love it if we could get a skill drawing since he's constantly around. 15. As far as skill knows, he is alone with his brother. Riss, I've been doing some research when I can. I know it's not like me, but I'm certain that Badger that overheard Lady Azalea and Lance after the tourney must have been someone of House Mustel. It got me thinking. That day in the woods. First off, what happened wasn't your fault. Neither of us could have known that he'd used the pagan magics, and if I'd just been stronger. But now I am stronger. I found something that day. When we were burying the body, there was a gemstone embedded in his back. I had heard rumors from the war times that taking a gem soul that had already been bonded made the process of the gem soul rite easier to attain. And it was true, there was hardly any backlash at all. And he's just wearing like a chain shirt right now. It's not like heavily armored. He just kind of like lifts up the chainmail and shows you, and you see embedded like just below the ribs in kind of like the center of his torso is this small sort of crescent moon shaped onyx gemstone that's embedded in his flesh.
You're a beast weaver.
Yes, but it's the onyx aspect, so I haven't told anyone except for you and Lady Azalea. Father would... I try not to think about what he would do if he found out that I had become a beast weaver of this particular aspect. I've been thinking, that badger may also have been of House Mastel. Do you still have what you found?
Hand him the trinket.
He looks over it. There are no symbols, and he holds up, for our audience at home, he holds up this little necklace. There's like a small circular pendant that just has the letters GRM on it. As he kind of like holds it up and looks over it. There's no symbolism, but I think that the M could be of House Mastel. It's a lesser noble house, so probably a merchant of some kind, but we have to make sure, brother. He hands it back to you and kind of like closes your paw around it. We have to make sure that no one ever learns of this.
I'll tuck it away. What do we know about the badger that was listening in?
Only that. You were the one who saw him, right? Scurrying away. Did he look familiar? Make a history check.
Don't even know. I mean, at the time, I had no idea what was going on. Ooh, yeah. 0. I rolled a 0.
Nice.
Oh my god, I think that's a first in the games I've been in.
I've never seen that.
That's an Arcanarama first, for sure.
Yay!
Our first 0!
World record.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm real smart.
There was there was so much happening that day. You had just woken up from unconsciousness.
I had no idea what was going on.
It was just another face in the crowd. Yeah.
Riss is just like, it like zooms in and then zooms out and he just...
I burped. It just shows me then.
One of those dog burps, just like...
Got like the Rick and Morty lips. Just like down.
Really intense on the eyes. Is he watching him?
It's a loose end I'd like to tie up, personally. I'll continue putting out feelers and see.
The gemstone, though. How many times have you used it?
Only a couple of times. I was tempted during the tourney, but I stopped myself.
Do I
After the hippo.
believe him?
Make an insight check.
Better. 10.
10? I would say you believe him. You do recall a moment where Brass Bandalar had used his gem soul on Skill, and there was a moment where Skill had started to like maneuver himself around the field, but stopped and made more attacks with his greatsword instead. He does actually begin to bare his fangs a bit, and you see he goes from his typical very like regal stance. He kind of like hunches down a little bit and starts to lean as if he's going to hop around to Prince Riss's side, but catches himself and instead is going to make his 3 greatsword attacks. You get the sense that, especially being raised as a member of House Luperel, you've been educated in how gem souls work, particularly the ones that your house has an affinity for, those 2 being Ruby and Onyx. The Onyx ones specifically are very centered around the shadow and strategically placing your shadow in combat. You know of the history of the Great Hunt whenever your uncle, the former Mad King Ulfgar of House Luperel, would go into battle, he would have a retinue of knights behind him carrying torches so that it would cast his shadow on opponents in front of him so that he could drain them during the fight.
Badass.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And yeah, like thinking about the placement of the sun on that day and how the hippo had just used it, you get the sense that Skjol was trying to maneuver himself around to the other side to basically return the favor, but stopped himself and showed restraint, which is that's good. He didn't show as much restraint later in the fight, but It was there. As this conversation is happening, the camera kind of like pulls back to the other side of this thick stone pillar, probably like 5 feet in diameter, where Hugin is backed up against it. And you're hearing all of this. What's going through Hugin's mind as you're hearing this conversation?
Hugin is like, she's like adding it to the list of shit that she has to deal with. This list is growing ever longer. And she's just like shaking her head because, like, I mean, she would know too that the obsidian gemstone is, you know, what drove the king mad in the first place, and it's just history repeating itself again. And she's just like, how could they be so stupid? Why are they doing this?
Yeah. Skjol leans in. If word of any of this gets out, if somehow someone in that family knew what we had done, it wouldn't just be my name. It would be our house. The pack stays together. Forward in unity. He holds up a fist. Well, back to training, shall we? And he's going to start hovering around. Hugin, do you let yourself be discovered, or do you attempt to flee before being noticed?
I'm gonna take off.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw. I'm going to say this is, we'll do this in our fancy little friend. So yeah, this isn't like life or death, but this is a DC 15 dexterity saving throw to basically escape before Skjol sees that you overheard what he was saying.
Okay, Hugin has a +7.
Nice. 14.
All right.
Nice. Hugin, you managed to scurry away just in time.
And look like I'm just sparring with a dummy. I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, as Lance and Riss return. At this point, Riss and Skjol return. At this point, Lance has arrived at the training grounds as well.
Hi, everybody.
I forgot his voice was like that.
Hello.
Ready for the ceremony on the morrow.
I guess. I don't really have anything to wear. I mean, I got this.
Oh, we've got the finest tailors in all of Howlheart, all of Timberhaven. We can have you something made. Do you prefer it in the colors of House Caniculus, or will you be donning House Lupra?
I don't know. What would be most polite? Not really. Haven't ever really been formally prepared for this sort of thing.
Perhaps the colors of Luperel, but the imagery of Caniculus?
Maybe like armor of Luperil, but like a cape of Caniculus, or maybe the other way around, something like that.
Certainly, it would be festive.
I don't know, like what works best in that regard, but
Well, it's relatively simple. All you've got to really do is kneel down, and I will tap either of your shoulders with a sword, say some words, and when you arise, you will be a knight of House Caniculus.
sweet.
Yes, we'll get you some measurements made. Put something together.
Yeah, we'll probably need to do that quickly since it's tomorrow morning.
Yes, well,
I imagine the tailors would appreciate some heads up so they don't have to be there all night working on it.
Certainly. Yes, I've never thought of it that way. Follow me.
Brilliant.
And yeah, Prince Skjol leads you off to the tailors. In the meantime,
So I was thinking a really big cake. I don't know.
Carrot cake?
Like meat cake? I don't know.
Carrot cake.
meat cake.
Okay. Sure. One of each.
Meat cake. Bug cake. It sounds delicious.
You get little pill bug circles on the frosting.
Like sprinkles?
Yeah.
Ant sprinkles or something? Oh, what? Sorry.
Hundreds and thousands of them.
Oh, is that why they're called that? Hundreds and thousands.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw up.
As the days continue, you guys, you all eventually are informed of the new rumor that's spreading throughout the kingdoms that Siberian Goldshield, the war hero, the Great Hunt, and royal guard to the king, has actually stepped down from his position, and is said to have secretly eloped with Dame Thrashley Strikepaw.
Whoa.
Yeah, that the two have retired from the king's royal guard
Big if true, but
and escaped to start a new life together. Of course, you all know the truth. especially Hugin, who watched their throats get slit.
It's fucked up. It's cold.
Yeah.
They do that to their back abs.
Is that the kind of thing that once they're in it for life?
I mean, you retire eventually because
Yeah.
only the best warriors can
But they
protect the
don't
High
like
King.
have families and all of that.
Correct. Yeah, they don't take a wife. All of that good, knightly vows and stuff. Speaking of knightly vows, on the morrow, on the steps of the Temple of the Ardors in Howlheart Keep, where the wolves of House Luperel reign, we find ourselves watching an honorable and solemn tradition. Beneath these two ancient towering trees of the forest that have been allowed to continue to grow on either side of the temple, on the steps, surrounded by the watchful eyes of various lupine and animals of all kinds, Sir Lance, a young and promising knight, kneels before Prince Skill Beetlebane. Would you like to tell us what you're wearing?
So I'll have, well, I don't know if I got new armor, but I'll have my
yeah,
armor.
we'll say they got you some new armor.
Okay, cool. So I'll have whatever fancy armor and
Now is the best time to say whether or not you upgrade your
I was gonna
starting
say
armor.
if you wanted
Yeah.
to add some like studded leather or whatever works best for you.
if there's a way to get like fancier, like less mundane armor, that would be cool. And then maybe have it painted up or dyed with the imagery of House Caniculus, and then I'll have like a cape on it with
Nice.
the colors of House Luperel.
You're given like a mantle of leaves and forest blooms over the armor, and a long red cape with a golden row of cycles of the moon going down the back.
Sweet.
Also, as we're all walking up, I'm going to give Skill a sword I had made for him.
Oh, nice.
Super nice.
Oh, that you made for Lance.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That I had made for. Yeah.
Excellent.
I just left it out because I didn't want to ruin it.
That's beautiful.
No, for
But
sure.
it has, similar to the statue that you were going to have made, like where the sword goes in, it has that, like, the people that you had listed out.
Awesome. It's beautiful.
That's dope as hell. Yeah, it is beautiful in silver, and Skill presents it to you as you are kneeling there. And he takes his, not his great sword, but a long sword from his side, more ornamental and decorative, and removes it from his sheath. And there are no words spoken. He merely taps either side of your shoulder, and before lifting it from your second shoulder, raises up and howls into the night, which a cacophony of howls follow of all of the canines of the area. Join in.
Am I expected to join in this howl during this process?
If you would like to, you can.
You're just taken aback and everybody just
I just don't know how prepared I've been for all of this.
Yeah, they would have
Skill
like
up.
walked you through what the ceremony is like.
There's a
for
rehearsal.
sure.
Gotcha. If it's expected that I howl too, then I will do my best to emulate it with the
Hell yeah.
rabbit noise that I can make.
Yeah, for sure. You do so. Make a performance check for fun.
9.
It's a squeak. After the howl, he taps each of your shoulders one more time, and this time does speak and says, "With this, I impart upon you wisdom and responsibility, and name you a protector of Timberhaven. Rise, Sir Lance of House Caniculus." And as you stand up, someone comes up and removes the red cloak and adds one of green with the same design. Just a subtle signal at your service to House Luperel, but being a knight of House Caniculus. And the ceremony concludes as a feast is had just outside the steps of the Temple to the Ardors, and all of you can stuff your faces and have a good time, and you are now Sir Lance Laporte
Awesome.
of House Caniculus.
I'll update my naming convention appropriately.
I don't know if anything else is going to be going on that night, but Hugin's like got barrels of wine and mead and like all sorts of alcohols to, one, celebrate the knighting, and then two, as like a bachelorette party.
Is there... Have people been invited? Because I know we wanted it to be public on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other houses here?
There are a few like lesser houses that are present, specifically at the knighting ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of representatives. There are a couple of representatives.
That's me.
Of,
I'm resentative.
there are a couple of house representatives. Wow. I guess that is what they are. Of House Lotor. There are a couple of noble merchant raccoons and skunks, as well as a few hedgehogs of House Arinalin. There isn't anyone present from any other kingdoms for this particular event, but there are enough witnesses that, like, you know, this is a thing that has happened. He was instated by Prince Skjol Beetlebane. However, that does bring us to an interesting discussion that probably happens during that feast, as Lady Azalea and Lord Asher are there with you. Actually, everyone is present, and also joining you are Lord Asher, Lady Basil, and King Lupin. Lady Basil leans in. Congratulations once again, Sir Knight, on your appointment. Not to take away from your day, but we do have another big day coming up very soon. Lady Azalea, perhaps we should discuss who shall be the honored guests of your wedding. And Prince Skjol, of course, kind of like nods. And Lord Asher cuts in. Obviously, Princess Brilla and her family at House Arctos must attend, as talks of her betrothal to Riss are still being finalized.
Simply must.
And King Lupin is like, yes, indeed. House Arctos will have an honored seat at our table. It is also tradition to have a guest from the House of the High King. They typically send a knight of House Theros. Is there anyone in particular that you are aware of that you would like to attend?
Who do you have with the abbyest back? I know somebody who could use a good pick-me-up.
Yes, well, most of the knights of House Theros were trained by Siberian himself.
Right, so most of
I
them.
imagine most of their backs are full of force with abs.
Right. Yeah. Whoever there, really, truly, I need somebody with a solid reputation.
Right.
And Abby back.
Solid reputation, Abby back.
Who you got?
Well, let's see.
I know somebody who's meant to be a lady soon, who could use the connections. Also, while you're at it, the abbyest backs of House Caniculus.
Yes, they're typically quite lithe, I would say.
Are you into that?
Hugin's like actually got
Are you
it.
into somebody wiry?
Hugin was like not paying attention. She had her arm around like a lance or something conspiratorially. It was like, we call it spice meat. I make it with the cook down, one of the cooks. We get the spice from Duneborough and the mead from. Wait, what?
Do you like some wiry? Maybe not back Abby, but
To back abs.
right. I need dense.
To back abs. Skills, like, indeed.
Back abs.
Yes. Well, the first one that comes to mind, obviously, is Rob Boulderclaw. Sir Rob Boulderclaw of...
Rob?
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 Sir Rob, or Sir Boulderclaw.
Sir Rob. Boulderclaw.
Yes. Sir Rob Boulderclaw. Yes.
Balder?
Boulder. Like a large stone.
Understood.
He was actually given the name during a feat of strength in a tourney several years back where he lifted a boulder over his head. And I'm told the stunning view of his back abs was seen around the kingdom.
Which house was he from?
House Theros. He's a knight of House Theros.
Theros are
Theros are
tigers?
cats.
cats.
Mm-hmm.
She likes that. She does like that.
No.
It seems kind of weird as like a bird, but
Well, it's
Yeah,
bad.
no,
It's
it's
just
just-
you like it. It makes him-
all the red flags.
makes it up being a cat.
Just imagine, if you dom the cat,
Oh,
that's just like one level up.
Putting them in the pecking order.
Or like
Oh!
or like early bird and worm jokes, like Not acceptable.
Oh,
Is that considered low class?
Don't break the DM.
it's good. It's good.
We'd end up here eventually, right? Like,
Yeah.
We were, yeah.
yeah.
Sarab is a cheetah.
I should hope not. No, it was special for me.
I shall put in a specific request for Sarab to
Great.
attend, and I should say the other attendees are up to you, the wedding party. And Prince Skjol kind of like looks over at you. Is there anyone else from your house, or in particular, that you would like to
I
be
don't
present?
have any friends.
It sounds like we'll have quite a retinue from House Arctos. They are quite a big family, what with King Ulrich's 3 wives.
Sure. Lance, from House Caniculus, is there anybody?
Oh, we got to invite my brother.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
He's big.
gonna show off a little.
Are you?
What better time, right?
Oh yeah. Which
What?
house is he a part of? He's a knight, right?
He was knighted by the
House King.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so currently as it stands,
Look at you reading your notes.
someone can only be knighted by royalty.
Yeah.
And though House Caniculus is a greater noble house,
Yeah.
they do not, because they don't rule any lands, they cannot knight their own, they can't make their own knights, basically. So they rely on the other royal houses to knight them. So like Lance is a knight of House Caniculus, but he was knighted by House Luperel. Same with Sir Deckard, who was knighted by House Kane.
Yep. Yeah, I just forgot which house it was.
The elks and deer people, right? Yeah.
Yeah, who?
Were they invited? I know they don't like to do things or go places, so.
Yeah, as you mentioned this, Lance, Lord Asher's like, actually, I've heard troubling word that the borders of the Bleachwood Holt have actually been closed off. If your brother resides there, he may have trouble attending.
Well, he was at the tournament, but I don't know how long he stayed.
We could send the invitation.
Certainly, of course.
Do you think they're sealed off because of conflict with Duneborough again?
Perhaps, but I didn't see why that would be any reason to seal off their borders with Timberhaven or the Vale Hollow. But I hear that they've completely locked down the kingdom. Perhaps they're having some inner turmoil. I haven't gotten word of King Ewan's status currently.
And he was missing from the tournament.
Indeed. A lot of people assumed that he just didn't want to attend, you know. It's a lot of travel for someone of his age. But perhaps something has happened. I'm not certain. And it's going to be a lot harder to find out now with the borders closed off.
You think bees will make it through?
Bees should make it, certainly. Unless they're shooting them down, but I don't see why they'd be doing that.
That's what I was worried about.
There would be more implications of what is going on if messengers are being destroyed.
Are our borders like publicly closed down? Because I know King Lucan was like sent out word to.
There are checkpoints at certain locations because, especially on the western side of Timberhaven, there's the Echo Flow River, which flows down and completely separates it from the Bleachwood Holt. So there are only certain bridges where crosses can be made.
It's a selectively permeable barrier.
Yeah.
Make your sense.
Yeah, and there and there are like watchtowers and things along the way as well that are basically just like keeping eyes out. But he's basically just like heightened alert, but isn't refusing entry.
Okay.
So like SniffCon 2.
Yeah, stuff gone too.
Gotcha.
I mean, our aim was for a smaller ceremony, so that should be more than enough attendees, I would think, especially with House Arctos. Unless you wanted to go larger, then you can send out invitations to all of the 4 kingdoms.
I'm a small ceremony.
Well, it will be a lavish ceremony, but I mean small in attendees. Mostly for safety.
Sure.
Obviously, the commoners will be celebrating throughout the city, having a new princess in the royal line.
As long as they have fun.
Oh, certainly. We have plans to set up a number of feasts throughout Howlheart Keep for the commoners as well to partake in the event. Though they can't, physically join us here in the castle, they will certainly have their own raucous events.
How many guards?
he kind of like turns to his father. King Lupin is like, we have 100 men stationed to be on alert on our perimeters,
And the
as well
good.
as, yes, our finest.
Oh, good.
Well,
Thank goodness
mostly our finest. Our
somebody
finest.
has assembled their finest knights to watch over their children. I'm staring at Lord Asher and Lady Basil.
He's right there.
Well, he lived. He's the only one.
There was another one who
And we
survived.
knighted him about it.
What was his name?
The Fennec Fox?
There was a Fennec
Oh.
Fox who survived, who was
I
like
think I took
taking you guys around.
Have a name?
To be
I
fair,
left
those
my-
bandits
He came
were
with us.
those bandits were pretty stout in their abilities.
I'm a princess to be. I just would have thought they all would have been. I thought my god would have been as stout.
Well, from this day forward, Lady Azalea, you shall be well taken care of.
Thank you so much, Your Highness.
But yes, to answer your question, we have 100 of our best men on the walls that will be keeping the perimeter safe, as well as we will have another 15 men stationed, obviously, subtly, within and around the venue.
Now, it may be a slight to some, but I don't know if we should invite the brother of Princess Brilla.
Why not?
That's quite a few.
The one that wanted you dead.
Oh, in the tourney? No, surely that's water under the bridge. It was
mean,
just
he
a mere
didn't-
rivalry.
Yeah, he didn't bust out anything unfair.
Worst case scenario, if he's still feeling a bit uppity, you can challenge him to a duel outside the wedding grounds.
Ooh.
Wedding duel.
Very spicy.
It's not a Luperel wedding without one duel at least.
Yes. There are typically at least 2 deaths. Usually one by overeating and another by violence.
You die of overeating.
At least there's
I
balance.
tried.
Have both
great
ever happened
honor.
at the same time? Like in the same fight or anything like that?
I do believe it was during the duel, yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
Typically. And of course we can, this is Skjold speaking up, of course we can also send out some invitations to the lesser houses so that they might make a showing.
Well, I want House Caniculus invited entirely.
Yes, well, Caniculus is a great house. I'm referring to houses Lotor, Arinolin, and Mustel. They are the nobles of the merchant houses. And he kind of like leans in, he's like, honestly, they give the best gifts.
Honestly, invite House Lotor for sure. What are our relationships with House Mustel?
House Mustel? And King Lupin pops in at this time. A fine standing, House Mustel. They are, I believe their words are,
Golden peace, steel and war.
gold in peace, steel in war. Yes, they are quite a wealthy house, the wealthiest of the merchants' houses, and a bit of rain coming down.
Oh, it's fine. It's an indoor wedding.
Yeah.
Well, partially. The reception will be held on the steps, as we are here. Obviously, it will be a little bit more decorated for the event. But yes, we have a good standing with House Mustel. They provide the majority of our arms and armaments for soldiers and things, those that we don't make here in the castle.
And Arenolin.
Adrenaline, also excellent. The hedgehogs, they make the finest silks and clothings. Are actually, Sir Lance had met with our tailor, who was of House Adrenaline. We didn't go over it, but the tailor in Howlheart Keep is a hedgehog.
Nice.
He wears very baggy clothes because sometimes he gets excited and his quills pop up, and it keeps him from just tearing through.
Invite the highest standing of House Arenolin and House Mustel.
It will be done.
And House Lotor, of course.
Of course, of course.
House Vulpus is represented. I don't have any friends, so that's fine. House King?
You mean all of your friends are present, Lady Azalea? Motions at the table.
Are we friends?
Are you saying that in character?
You're practically
Just like-
inseparable.
Right. With family at this point.
Yeah.
You look like you're going to throw up.
It's the spiced meat. So
Alright.
I've had a lot of it.
I was gonna say we should get to know each other better. We're stuck being family, I guess. you have a favorite color? Is it green? You wear, we're red, but like, I think blue's my favorite color.
I like black.
Me too.
Yeah. That black.
Black.
I mean,
I'll be fine.
I've killed a bunch of people for you. I
I
think
paid you to do that.
that's true. But I've kept some secrets for free, so that's what
Do you
friends
want
do,
to
right?
be paid?
For that,
Yes.
You could be a professional friend.
I don't think that's the best way to be friends.
Oh. That's how I've always done it.
I would agree.
I earned my.
I don't know which one he's green.
At this point,
We can be friends for free.
the party's kind of like
Sure.
kind of like dying down a little bit. A lot of people have headed out. It's at this point you find yourselves just your party and Prince Skill, as a servant has come out and kind of lit up a little bit larger than a regular campfire, like a small bonfire for you guys to kind of hang out and roast bugs over and stuff. Hear the screaming of the cooking meat inside the pill bugs over the flames.
Horrific. I'll cook like
It's
a
not the
carrot.
pill bugs screaming. It's just the sound.
Do they pop like popcorn?
Yeah.
It's like when what is it? Lobsters, like
Oh no.
when you're boiling them or whatever.
Yeah, it's like
Similar
it's not the
horrific
lobster
noises.
screaming. It's the steam
Yeah.
escaping from its shell.
Yeah, same thing with like the pill bugs. I
Mhm.
imagine. Yeah.
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 It's that thing when a dog gets like a weird texture food, so they're like chewing at the back of their mouth, like that fucking like.
I imagine that it's like the pill bugs specifically. I imagine they're like stuffed, so it's kind of like
Ooh,
you know the Emperor's New
garlic.
Groove when they go to that restaurant and they like bring them like a little rolled up bug
Yeah.
and they tap it and it goes. It steams. It's kind of like that.
That's cool.
I do remember that.
It's a core memory for me. For some reason.
That and the Lion King bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Food
Very
question
bad.
in general, is there like silverware or is it like two bowls that people like for feeding in the world?
At higher class events, there's typically like a knife and like a two-pronged fork, but it's also not like uncouth to eat with your paws.
I'm gonna roast a carrot and maybe some corn.
Nice.
Ah.
Yeah, the corn starts popping on the cob. Yes, we should get to know each other better, shouldn't we? Lady Azalea, what do you like to do?
We've done this.
For fun.
I feel like we've done this.
I brought us a couple of wines. There's red for my lady and mixture for
I
everyone else.
prefer white.
You've never said that.
We've never actually discussed it. You
I've
just
asked
always
you
bring
multiple
both.
times.
You always bring both.
Every time I brought both, you took red. I've made a
Why?
specific mental note of this, my lady.
Oh, I've never drank any of the wine that you've brought.
Oh. Well, I also brought wine. I prefer red myself.
Lady Basil prefers red.
Right.
I do remember hearing that.
Yes. Are my parents here?
No.
They left already?
Yeah, it's just you guys kind of like hanging out around a fire.
Oh,
I listened to see if there's like anyone around that would be within earshot of us while we're drunkenly bonding.
Yeah, make a perception check.
yeah, I'm doing the same.
That's an 8.
Okay.
17.
Yeah, the crackling of the fire is enough to kind of drown out the sound of others' conversations around you. You imagine it's doing the same for yours. Lady Azalea, you see that Flank, also Coyote, a little bit thinner than the blacksmith, but he's nearby, like kind of gathering up spent plates off of a table, and you don't think he's within like earshot, but he also, you notice that he hasn't been drinking throughout the evening because he's a dog of the cloth.
But I don't think he can hear us.
No. Yeah, at least he doesn't seem to be like listening in, or, like trying to get secrets or anything. He's just kind of like cleaning up.
And none of our parents are here.
No. No parents.
Righto, well, I think given that the festivities are upon us and that my mother very much doesn't want me to, I'm finally more than willing to say that no, I'm not necessarily who I claim to be. I am the daughter of Lady Basil, but I am not the daughter of Lord Asher. Was that satisfying to you?
Just
I see personally no need to inform the masses about your status as a bastard, my lady.
Sure. There's something fucking wrong with you.
Just saying, I mean, that's what you just admitted to being one.
Sure, no, I understand. Darling, I think at some point
No one said it out loud before.
you're going to have to learn that when a lady says things that could be hurtful about her, you say, "Oh, no, you're lovely."
You are lovely.
Oh, thank you. I think I'm lovely.
I find you quite beautiful, yes. But I mean,
Don't say it again. Don't say it again.
No buts.
All right.
I'll bite you.
All right. I mean, that's good news. I think there were rumors to the contrary, but if I'm not mistaken, in Vale Hollow, it is a matriarchal society as opposed to our patriarchal society here in Timberhaven. So, being of your mother's birth, you are still of nobility.
Yes,
Oh, I see no issues.
right. For us here. For some, could be a problem.
I appreciate your honesty. I told this to my brother earlier in confidence, as well as Lady Azalea, but I am a beast weaver.
Would I have known that from the tournament already?
I don't think any of you witnessed that. I think the two of you were already unconscious. I think Lance was currently entangled.
I just noticed a change in demeanor, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you noticed after it was used on him that he looked ragged and like he hadn't eaten in days, because that's kind of what the Onyx Gem Soul does to you. Is it drains your energy and makes you starve to death really fast. Yeah, cool.
Keegan, like a little second too late, is like, oh, big surprise at like both of these missions.
Yeah,
Did he just say
Oh.
which kind of gemstone
he
it
didn't.
was?
He just said he's a beast weaver.
Which, if it's not impolite, which kind of gem is it? Or
Well-
is that too personal?
No. I hope this stays between us. It is of the Onyx persuasion.
Oh.
I try not to use it. Obviously, it would bring dishonor to my house for it to be used for ill. And of the types of beast weaving, it is one of the few that is hardest to use for good, I've found. But I have found that it can be useful in a fight if the tides are turning against you.
I mean, I suppose if you're fighting for keeps anyway, you might as well, right?
Of course. Just got to be careful not to lose yourself.
Yeah.
Can I do an insight check on him to see if like kind of why he said that? Because like I do know it was about the Mad King, but also like just want to see what's going on with him. That's a 16.
Yeah, you get the sense that something the skill kind of does frequently is he states something as if it's like advice for others, but mostly he seems to be like trying to convince himself. So yeah, you get the sense that like he's been on the edge of losing himself before, and he's at least knows that it is important to not allow that to happen.
Yeah, so it sounds like that's a very real possibility though.
Yeah, there's definitely some inner struggles with him. I'd also say, with your knowledge of all of your knowledges of beast weaving and the different aspects, the reason that the Mad King was such a problem was because he had the two. He had the ruby gem soul that was driving him crazy, and then he had the onyx gem soul that was making his hunger insatiable. So for skill, he's less likely to like go mad, but he would get very, very hungry and might not be able to control himself, which would be taboo to, eat another being. Hasn't been done since the Dark Ages in Feralorn. Well, and the Great Hunt, but we don't talk about that.
Your holy man,
Flank.
Flank, can he perform marriage?
Yes, he will be performing our ceremony tomorrow.
Everybody's gone. Everybody else has gone to bed.
Yeah, at this point, it's just kind of you guys hanging out, and Flank is like, he's like clearing out tables and like setting out decorations and like wrapping them up for the morrow's events.
If I'm being fully honest with everybody here, I'm vaguely. I know. Don't look at me like that.
Hugin's like drugged. She just like that little butter. Just like.
I'm
Just feathers permanently like puffed.
I'm concerned of something happening tomorrow. And if everybody's agreeable to it, I'd very much like to secretly get married tonight.
We have witnesses. We have a priest of the orders.
Will he keep his mouth shut?
Certainly.
Wait, what do you think's gonna happen tomorrow?
I'm worried that one of us or more of us will be killed.
By whom?
By anyone.
So,
Does that happen a lot
no
of weddings? here?
ceremony at all?
Public place.
I mean, ceremony tomorrow.
I mean, the ceremony will take place here within Howlheart Keep in our stronghold. They'd have to be fools. It would be a suicide mission to try and murder someone at our wedding.
Well, there's an invitation list.
Certainly. And we can make sure to have copies made of that invitation list in case something does happen.
Right, but if it does, and either you or I are killed, then it's as though the marriage and the alliance never occurred, which is bad for both of our houses.
I mean, I'm not opposed.
We're also like a small group of people who know what's actually going on in the
Right.
capital.
Certainly.
If they were gonna hit one of us, they would probably try to hit all of us. Maybe we shouldn't eat or drink anything tomorrow.
Yeah, I was like looking at the wine.
That's not a bad idea.
I can deal with that.
Or unless if maybe there's like a antidote we can drink beforehand or something for poisons or.
My brother is actually quite a skilled healer. He's cured me of many poisons.
I'm going to cast Purify Food and Drink right now, just for fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You do so. Also worth noting, with 5 points of lay on hands, you can cure a disease.
All right.
And I think a poison.
Can you like get rid of a hangover with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Technically
it's
poison.
great. Do it all the time. Also, I have Detect Poison.
Very handy.
That said, if it's any type of... Well, that could be
That's
very
better.
handy.
Yeah.
Yes, perhaps before we eat anything tomorrow, let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll be hyper-vigilant. Shall we continue with getting things done tonight anyway?
I just feel something feels wrong.
I also just fear if we are wed in secret with just us and Flank present, and then something happens to one of us, or all of us, then still no one will know.
Well, that's only if something happens to all of us.
Right.
Right.
If even one of us in flank survive, the alliance still stands. I'm also concerned. We don't know what the armadillo is up to right now. And I don't like it. He's the only one who knows everything aside from all of us here. If he chose to out that,
And perhaps that badger that was listening in on your conversation with Lance.
I don't like that either.
There was a badger listening in?
We presume. Riss saw, thinks he saw, some sort of badger fleeing from around the back, around the same time I think that would have been your conversation with Lady Azalea after you had just won the tourney.
When I
Really?
had my little tizzy.
I only saw the dog peeing. Didn't see the badger. But badgers are quick
They are dexterous.
and badgery.
I suppose it couldn't hurt anything if you got married tonight, and then, well, we should probably keep it secret though. Otherwise, it's a slight against all of the guests. But
Of course.
Right.
Well, and Skill stands up. Flank! And like jumps. The sudden rise in volume comes over. Yes, my prince. I would have you marry myself and the Lady Azalea tonight. Kind of like raises an eyebrow. He's like, of course, my liege. And we'll keep this quiet, just between us. Like it's like, certainly, my liege. Please follow me up to the steps. And
Just kind of straighten up his cloak and
yeah,
just like,
he wipes a little bit of
Stand
drool from his
steady.
jowls. Gil wipes a little bit of drool from his jowls as you guys go up. He's been eating; it's wet. Go up to the
All
steps.
dogs are not grim.
he's missing a lip though.
Yeah, he's got a.
Aww.
I'll witness and play
This
lookout.
dog is grim.
Yeah, he's busted.
I'll make sure no one's watching
Excellent.
while also witnessing.
Yeah, make a perception check.
15.
Oh. Nice.
Well, I would presume that we can probably skip a lot of the formalities of the ceremony. We'll save those for tomorrow, and we'll hit the high points. How's that sound?
You can like snatches some flowers from the vase and hands them to you.
Thank you. These are wet.
You guys just like. Please take each other's paws.
I'll hand the wet flowers back to Hugo.
Yeah.
Just dripping.
Skill kind of like wipe some of the dirt out of your hands
Actually,
before.
I think probably my maid of honor would be Lance. So I'll hand them to Lance. Said we're friends.
May you each find peace in your travels as Rover guides your migrations. May you embody Valera's protection upon one another, and any heirs born from the throes of Paisha's passion. May Famone keep your bellies and coffers full, and may you both thrive with Vince's breath. Now please, repeat after me. In the presence of the five orders, we vow to stand as one. In the presence of the five orders, we vow to stand as one. Under Survival's watch, I pledge to protect and cherish you. Under Survival's watch,
Or
I pledge to protect and cherish you.
Yes.
Guided by migration, we'll journey through life's changes together. Guided by migration, we'll journey through life's changes together.
Together. It's very hard to remember spoken words.
Hugin's like wiping away a tear.
In the fire of hunger and passion, we'll love and hunger for each other endlessly.
That seems private.
In the fire of hunger and passion, we'll love
And
and hunger for each other
yes.
endlessly.
endlessly.
In the warmth of protection, I'll shelter your heart with mine.
In
The warmth of protection, I'll shelter your heart with mine. By the powers vested in me by the five orders, I now pronounce thee Prince Skill Beetlebane and Princess Azalea of House Luperel. You may kiss the bride. You guys,
It sounds like an engine backfires.
you hear the distant chirping of giant crickets and the buzzing of cicadas in the distance as well.
Giant cicadas.
As
Pluck off a bunch of petals and start raining them.
yeah, and as you do that and begin throwing petals, which is actually traditional for the exit, a light snow begins to fall on the area as well. And Flank kind of leans in and he's like, this was going to be a surprise, but I should let you know, Lady Azalea, Princess Azalea. I shall call you Lady Azalea until the ceremony for safety.
Just keep it straight, right. This was purely in case of immediate death.
It was the request of King Lupin that I bestow upon you a name during the ceremony. Would you like to hear it now, or save it until then?
Save it. I have I'm bad at a surprise. Ooh, face.
Excellent. Congratulations
Thank you.
to the newlyweds.
Maybe like write it down just in case.
Certainly.
If we're like hedging our bets here.
Got some parchment here.
Oh, it's loud parchment.
Well, I wasn't going to use the whole thing for a single name.
Sure. Could have wrote it in a corner and tucked it away.
You probably heard me like silently mouthing along, like these are a lot of words. I gotta get used to it. Gotta do this soon.
A lot of words.
You're next.
And then we'll find the abbiest back in the world for you, Hugo.
Shall I entrust this to
I can hold it.
Sir Knight?
My friend,
Yes, your friend
Sir Knight.
of House Caniculus.
We're friends.
And
For free.
as
Could you believe?
as Lady Azalea says this, and probably like pops a cork out of another bottle of mead to share among all of you, and the snow continues to fall. that's where we're going to end this episode of A War of Fang and Sword. Secret wedding!
Secret wedding.
Secret wedding! Yay.
I'm convinced everyone's going to die.
Lady Azalea, would you like to describe your wedding dress?
Yes, I would.
And so we've got the Temple of the Ardors behind, Skjol and Azalea here at the head. We've got Riss and Hugin on one side, Lance and Dame Liliana on the other.
The anxiety
I'm gonna
is like.
throw up.
I seek to regain that honor, and I challenge you to a duel. King Lupin spits blood out in front of himself. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw and you want even more Arcanarama goodness, you can head over to patreon.com/Arcanarama, where the low price of $5 gets you access to a whole host of content, like the Chaos Hours, our post-show talkback, where we chat with each other about the things that happened in the episode and give you a peek behind the Dungeon Master's screen. The Guardians of the Phoenix podcast, where it all began, as well as monthly art drops with character art that you can use in your own games at home. The $5 tier gets you access to all of those goodies, but there's also a $3 tier if you simply want to be noticed by your senpais. So without further ado, huge shout out to all of this month's Patreon supporters. Definitely Not Sam, Scott Shear, Nita Yilva, Eric Firm, Freya Odensdottir, Robin Stone, Tina Holt, and Al. See you in the next one.